Hello, I'm Henry Bloomfield and welcome to Vlog My Mind. This week we've got discovering Shetty. We've got me betraying and letting someone down. But before we dive into that, I want to start off with something a little bit more positive and just say I had a conversation this week in a group chat with friends and such, and discovered I've actually got some of my friends watching these videos, which is just really humbling and really great to know that I've actually got people watching them, and didn't actually realise that people I knew, like friends, family and such, are watching them. I'm starting to get more things coming through of just family making comments about a certain video or friends making comments, and it's just really nice to know that people are watching. So thanks for watching, really appreciate it, and hopefully there'll be more people joining soon and new subscribers and whatnot. But otherwise, let's dive in. Discovering Shetty. So yes, you'd think if you follow Shetty's work and are familiar with the content he produces, you would have thought that I would have been a fan years ago and obsessed over his podcast on purpose long before. But I actually haven't, and for some reason I've just been aware of him. I've always been aware of him, never engaged with any of his content until this week. I listened to the episode with Ed Winters, the vegan activist, on his On Purpose podcast, and since then I've just kind of been binging it while I'm out gardening on a few jobs here and there. Just been scrolling through the episodes, and he's done over 300 now, so there's a lot to catch up on. But I'd really recommend it and even just in the few episodes I've listened to, I've taken away so much value in terms of understanding how to maintain better relationships with friends, family, my girlfriend, how to engage in a better way, how to communicate so much better. So check it out for yourself if you haven't. If you have, let me know in the comments below. But onto the sort of point on my mind at the moment of really coming to terms with letting someone down and a sense of betrayal. I don't want to go into too much detail of it because I don't know what I can reveal, and it's still all sort of ongoing. And it's not through intention, it's not malicious, it's just a case of, in a situation, someone had reliance on me, I was responsible, I had responsibilities rather, and as a result I fell through a lot of factors out of my control. Ultimately it all came down to me though, and whether I was in control or not, there was a lot of actions that I couldn't have really done much better in, or maybe I could have, and a lot of that is handling relationships and being able to manage people in a way that incentivizes them, motivates them, and maybe I have led in a way that discourages people or distances them to the point they want to leave. But that's all part of my own journey and learning about my own character flaws and my own management stuff. It's all stuff that I'm coming to terms with and seeing where I need to make improvements and making those improvements incrementally as I progress over weeks, months and years, decades. It's something I'll go into more detail in like later episodes of Vlog My Mind, and I always do that when I say Vlog My Mind, but I'll go into it in later videos. But it is something that I just wanted to get off of my chest in terms of coming to terms with this. And I suppose I don't have a sense of complete fault in my own head, and I'm not, in the kindest way, not like being like, I'm not putting all blame on myself, and I don't think there's no one to blame. It's just a case of this situation and the circumstances all led up to it. It's just unfortunate, and it's just, when you look at who is the person that's missing out here, who's the person that's suffering, it's not me, and yet I'm the ultimate controller and the person that holds responsibility, and I'm not the one that's suffering as a result. But it's something that I'm coming to terms with, and facing the fact that I actually let someone down through this situation. But as I said, I'll go into more detail in later episodes of something, and if given that my friends do watch this, I'm sure I'll be having conversations with it. But to go two more positive things in terms of what's going on in my mind and what's going on. It's just so much I'm discovering. I feel like, what are we in, 2022 now? It's starting off with a really good progressive bang, and I'm actually going back to, I haven't done any videos on this yet actually. I was in BNI for a long time. Business Network International is a business networking group of local businesses in your area, where you just basically go to build this community, have relationships with each other and pass work between one another. I was a member, obviously, as part of my gardening business, and came away from it months ago. I learned a lot from it. It was really beneficial to my own career and development and growth, which I'll dive into in other videos in terms of helping people that are starting out and looking at different business network opportunities. But in terms of this, I'm actually going back and visiting in a couple of weeks' time, which I'm really excited about. So I'll be seeing people that I haven't seen for years. Well, I say years because of lockdown. I haven't actually been face to face in the room. So I haven't been in a BNI meeting since February 2020, or start of March 2020, when lockdown 1 was announced. And from there it all went online and Zoom meetings and whatnot. Never the same connection with people. but I'm actually get to go back and see what it's like to be back in the room again after how many years. And I feel like I'm going back a complete different person. Whether or not I'll join as a member, I've got credit to go back with. And I like the idea of trying to build a network around my content, and as well going back with the fact that I'm building back up with Benevolent Business, the podcast. So therefore I'm going to build this network around that, which is bizarre because it's all about business referrals and passing work to each other. No one would actually be able to pass me work. I don't do work for anyone. I just create content. But obviously through connections, as I've said in other videos about connections, the power of connections, and my whole goal around 2022 is to have these connections and build phenomenal connections with new people and spawn new relationships, new opportunities. Where better than a business network meeting where you're literally spending every week surrounded by people and building it up again. And a lot of people I want to get on the podcast are in that meeting anyway, so it's two birds, one stone here. They've got a lot of value, and I've got a lot of hopefully really great questions I really want to dive deep into in terms of the series of the podcast. Spoiler alert, the Benevolent Business Series 2 is going to be going more into looking at how to gain information, tips, ideas from a benevolent perspective. So if you're looking to build a benevolent business, I'm going to be speaking with a lot of individuals in different professions where they've built their careers in their industry to the point that they are a success in their industry, and just diving into their minds, trying to get as much value as possible for you guys to help and share and see how we can strive to build benevolent businesses. Before probably series 3, I'll start diving into more around guests, their own stories. But there'll obviously be an element of that in series 2. So I'm really looking forward to. I'm now finding my purpose and just embracing it and grabbing hold of it with everything. Every day is just like ever more exciting. And yeah, there was a few holdbacks. I was just like trying to get stuff sorted out and ready. And I'm now at a point where I'm pretty much ready with everything to go for the podcast. I've got all the equipment I need. I've run through. I've started doing most of the like test runs I need to do in terms of the recordings, the video. So I'm keen to get stuck in and dived in, having some wonderful conversations and making some more wonderful connections. That sums it up for this week. I hope you're having a great week, a great time, and enjoying what is the start of 2022. If you've got anything to add into a conversation, put it in the comments below. If you're liking these videos and keeping up to date with it, then make sure to hit subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification button so that you know when every video is coming out. Until next time.